Be'ezrat Hashem, we will. I think that there is few people that not were here the last two shiurim, so I will do a small, how to say, introduction. Like we will do like a repetition, a small repetition, because it's built. This shiur is built on the last two shiurim, I think. So basically, our subject. So, and another thing, if you can close your like, how do you say, put it on mute if you are, if you don't speak whenever you need to ask something, or you can open it. And if it's not bothers you and you are in, I prefer when the video is on. It's much easier to see if the person understands you, and so on. Okay, so today we will learn another step about Chalav Akum. So we learned the laws of Chalav Akum. We learned about cheese, and I wanted to go another step about butter, and we will understand the difference between butter and cheese halachically. Okay. Now I just don't remember who was here in the shiur in the like. Yeah, Baruch was here. You're right. Miriam, but Miriam, she is not here, so I need to do a repetition. But
Yes.
there's okay. So Baruch, I think you are the only. So I will do a small repetition, and you at the end will be like a really good Talmid Chacham. Like wow, Baruch, you're amazing. Okay. Okay, so I will try to do it in very, very short to understand the laws of Chalav Akum, and we will jump to butter. So in short, we're not allowed to eat non-kosher animals, correct? Like for example, we need to have Baruch, I will be very happy if you will help me with the English words. What do we need to have in the animal that will be kosher? Is split hoof and what? And choose
Split
gum,
hoof
right?
and choose his cud.
Thank you very much. And Chazal tells us that if you're not allowed to eat some animal or something, you're also not allowed to eat its product. For example, if you're not allowed to eat camel or horse, you're not allowed also to eat the milk of it. In bracket, except of bees that make honey, and because it's a different way of producing, but it's for a different shiur. But normally, everything we're not allowed to eat, the thing itself, we're not allowed to eat the milk, the eggs, and anything they make. If you're not allowed to eat eagle is not a kosher bird. You're also not allowed to eat his eggs. Okay, so this why we're not allowed to eat to drink milk or to consume any product of milk if the milk came from non-kosher animal. Now the thing start of if we have kosher milk, meaning not kosher milk, a milk that came from a kosher animal, but nobody checked to make sure it comes from a kosher animal. You just went to a goy and you just bought a milk. Okay? So on the time of Chazal, back at the time, they they had a concern that maybe because the non-kosher milk was cheaper, I don't know even which one, maybe I don't know which kind of animal they had common, and maybe the guy that sell you the milk, maybe he will mix kosher milk with the non-kosher milk, and you basically will drink milk that came from non-kosher animal, and this is very severe because it's deoraita. This is like considered deoraita. Okay, it's understood. You got me. Okay. Baruch, do you remember the difference between cheese, like the thing of like if it's chashash or gzira, like if it's a concern Like in short, like what if there is a machloket, if it's a concern or a gzera and stuff?
You mean like the concern theoretically, or if it's within milk itself, whether we consider it a concern or not?
No, halachically, there is
If it's a
disagreement in the
fence, it's a much
exactly
bigger deal.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I will try in English, and if not, you will do it. It will be better, maybe. So there is disagreement between the rabbis like a few hundred years ago. If milk, Chazal said, if you just want to buy milk from a goy, you're not allowed. Why? Because maybe you have non-kosher milk inside and it's mixed. The question is if it's a concern or a fence. If it's a fence, so even if today things change, we are not changing it because maybe they have different reasons and so on. But if it's a concern, so if today we do not have the concern, so we do not have a problem. This is in short. We talked about that longly. Nowadays, I think we all understand that in North America, we do not have a concern of a non-kosher milk in normal milk. If you buy a cow milk, it's a cow milk, and it's not a camel milk, and not a horse milk, and not a pig milk, and not anything. It's a cow milk. But we have argument disagreement, between the rabbis if milk is a concern, like if when Chazal said you're not allowed to drink milk from goyim, if it's a concern or or offense. If it's a concern, it's not a problem. If it's offense, it's a problem today. Till here, it's clear. I want to go second step to the cheese. Beatrice, how are you? It's okay? Good. So about cheese, we said that cheese, it's offense, meaning even according to some of the rabbis that said that you're allowed to drink milk from goyim, cheese need to have echsher. Okay? Why? Because cheese is a fence. I think I have a feeling that was clear, and
Rabbi,
you think it?
question, please?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the soft cheese and the hard cheese, okay, I've heard or one of the teaching, not with you, that soft cheese is okay even without a hexer. Soft.
I said last year, yeah. We again like this. Now we just said that milk is, according to some, it's a concern. Cheese is a fence. So according to those rabbis, you can drink milk in North America or any place that you don't have a concern that it's other kind of animals. But cheese, it's a fence, and cheese we're not allowed to use without a hechsher. But I said there is some rabbis, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein brought it as an idea, but he didn't say it clear, that soft cheese was like, at that time they didn't have soft cheese, and Chazal, when they said offense about cheese, they didn't talk about soft cheese. So soft cheese should be like any other concern, like a milk, halachically. So according to this idea, some rabbis are also lenient about soft cheese, but this is another step, meaning you have more rabbi that lenient about milk and less about soft cheese. You understand what I mean? If you count it, or I don't know, you got me?
Yeah, Rabbi.
Good. But yes, there is also some.
You're saying there is leniency on soft cheese as what other rabbis have said.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. But less, but again, I said the strength that the leniency of milk has, it's stronger than soft cheese. You know what? You got me?
Yes, Rabbi.
Yeah. Okay, now we have another step. Now I want to talk about butter. Okay, so first of all, I will try to explain how they were making butter back in the time, because nowadays it's a little bit different. Okay, so back in the time, butter. What is butter basically? Somebody want to say? Go
It's
ahead.
like
What?
milk fat.
100%. So how you make it? What I know from the Bedouin here and from the places, the third world I was, it's you have few options, but even the basic option is just to shake it, and at the end you will have it on the top. I remember I like to milk from, we are living on a mountain, and you go down the mountain and up to the other mountain. We have Bedouin living there, a family, like a man with two women, with two wives here there, and they have like a lot of sheeps and stuff. They're Bedouin, Bedouin. Yeah, here in Israel, and we were all the time going to them. And I like when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, and to ask them to milk the goats and stuff, and to take like 1 liter or 2 liters or something of milk. And we were giving him like one cigarette, or I don't know, whenever we had a little bit of bamba, whatever, it's all the time worked. And I realized that if you when we were running back down the hill and or down the mountain, and I was shaking the bottle like that, and at the end you get uh איך אומרים, צף, like on the top you get like even the basic, like it's very simple, the basic idea of how butter is made. So back in the days, butter came from milk. Okay, they just make milk. Either you cook it, either you shake it. Whatever. There is few method how to do it. Some were just putting it, in a, how do you say, when you make when it's a bag from the ladder, from the skin of animals. You know what I mean? There is a word for it in English. Whenever, you got me right. So yeah, and they were like just hanging them that in the top, and you just punch it, and it moves, and at the end it becomes butter. If you're interested, you can come to Israel. I don't know how, if you have it in Canada in the natives, but here, if you go to the Bedouin, they do all those kind of stuff till today. So
Rabbi, the
this is
term
the
is churning.
churning. Thank you.
That's the term when you're like shaking it. Like, yeah.
Thank you very much. So back in the days, to that time. Back in the days, this is how they made butter. So now I want we want to understand if butter has the problem of milk or cheese, or what is the status of butter halachically. If I want to go to the goim and I just want to buy from the non-Jew butter, and after that we'll go to butter today. Butter today is another step. So back in the time, in cheese, for the people here that were on that shiur, I need to do also a smaller petition about that. In cheese, the Gemara asks, "What's the problem with cheese?" Okay, the Gemara asks, "What's the problem if I buy cheese from from non-Jews? What the problem with cheese?" The Gemara asks why the Gemara asks this question, because the Gemara says that if you want to make cheese from non-kosher milk, it's not will become cheese. How do you say it? It's not will become cheese. It will stay like a water, unless you will use chemicals nowadays. But if you just will put a little bit of vinegar, or you just will wait, if you take like a non-kosher, if you'll take like a horse, it's not a horse milk. It's not will become cheese. This is what the Gemara said. Now, so the Gemara asks, what's the problem if I want to buy cheese? 100% this cheese is from kosher, because you can't make cheese from non-kosher milk. This is what the Gemara said. And the Gemara answered that when you have cheese, I'm not talking about soft cheese. I think we call it in Israel, like I think vina bulgarit and stuff. I don't know. The Gemara said when you have cheese, what? Feta they call it? You know feta cheese? So the Gemara said, I don't know exactly about what cheese they had, more than 1500 years ago, but you need to guess from the details they said. So they said that in the cheese you have all the time you have a little bit of water inside, meaning it's not 100% dry. Okay? And when you have those kind of cheese, this is the cheese they had. So maybe the Gemara said the cheese itself, the soiled is the opposite of liquid.
Solid.
Solid. Thank you very much. So the solid part of the cheese, it's maybe from the kosher milk, but the water that you have with the cheese or between or inside a little bit, this water is from the non-kosher. Maybe this is what the Gemara said. Okay, I just told you that in short, just to understand about butter. Okay, so according to that problem that said that the cheese, the solid is the kosher and the liquid maybe is not the kosher. So if I will make butter, so butter is just the solid, right? So the Geonim, talking about rabbis like 1,000 years ago, few hundred years after the Gemara, they had a discussion. They got the question about what will be the stage, the status, I don't know how to say it, of butter. Okay, because butter is just the solid part basically of a cheese in somehow. Okay, I think nowadays we really have like so many kinds of cheese and so on, so it's a little bit harder, but this is just to get the idea. And when we're coming to today, it's more harder, like halachically, because we can't make the Torah from ourselves. It's built on, and we're trying to understand Chazal, and that they try to understand the Torah till nowadays, and the recipes change. This is what? Yeah.
Recipes.
Yeah, thank you very much. The recipes changed. Okay, so I will read you a little bit from the tool. It's Siman Kuftet Vav Seif Gimel. Like 115 Seif Gimel, like 3. And he brings down the discussion that the rabbis has like more than 1,000 years ago. This is after the time of the Talmud. They called Geonim, and they got a question about butter. So he said like that, והחמאה, like the butter, מקצת הגאונים מתירוע, שהרי לא גזרו על החמאה, וחלב טמא אינו עומד. So some rabbis in that time said that we do not have offense about butter. The Gemara didn't say we're not allowed to eat butter. The Gemara just talk about cheese, okay? Correct? So we just has the concern, right? Maybe there is non-kosher milk inside, but the Gemara said that you can't make cheese or any solid cheese or something from non-kosher milk. So how can I make butter? I can't. So if I make butter, it means it came from a kosher milk. Okay? And some others said that even butter has a little bit of liquid inside. It's not just dry. You have water a little bit. It's a little bit more drier than cheese in that time, but it's also have liquid. Okay? This is the discussion. Yeah.
I didn't quite understand. You said that the process for making cheese is very different to the process for making butter. I understand that both of them have solids in them, but when you make cheese, you said that if there's a solid in the cheese, the liquid could have come from a non-kosher animal. But that's not true with butter, because butter, you're using kosher milk. I'm not sure I really even understand what the question is, but what you said didn't make sense to me.
Okay, so I will try to repeat. Tell me if it's clear. I even don't remember if I talk about. I think I talked about it last year and 2 years ago, right? About the cheese, like all the laws of the cheese and what the reason about the cheese and cheese. So I will try to make it short. the Gemara in one idea, the Gemara asked, first of all, the Gemara said this axiom, this idea. The Gemara said, you cannot make cheese physically like from non-kosher milk. If you will try, it's not will become solid. It just will stay liquid. Okay, from okay. After we agree to that idea, so if I made cheese, so what's the problem? When I made cheese, if it's become cheese, so why I afraid that maybe the guy he gives me non-kosher milk, right? So if it's cheese, it should be a kosher milk, because if it will be from a non-kosher milk, it's not will become a cheese. This is what the Gemara said. A cheese. The Gemara didn't talk about butter at all. Now, the Gemara said, so if it's correct, so why we need to have any problem with buying cheese from non-Jews? This is what the Gemara asked. The Gemara answer, even when you buy a cheese, so okay, the soiled part, it's 100% from a kosher milk, because you cannot make cheese from non-kosher milk. But when you buy cheese, the cheese itself has, between its pieces, the Gemara said, you have liquid. So maybe he took, I don't know, cow milk, and he mixed 20% of non-kosher milk, and the soiled becomes soiled because this is the part of the kosher milk, and the water you have between, this is from the non-kosher milk. And basically, when you consume it, when you eat it together, you eat the cheese that came from the kosher milk with what came from the non-kosher milk. It's clear, this?
Rabbi, it doesn't make
Water that comes.
why there would be non-kosher liquid in the kosher milk. Because
Again,
if you made the cheese from the same milk,
He's saying
the
that if you're
liquid is
making the cheese with the milk,
Yes.
the kosher milk, he can still add extra milk that's not kosher. I think that's what he's saying. So if the goyim doesn't know, and he's just mixing milk, maybe he doesn't have enough milk to
Yeah,
make the
doesn't
amount of
mention.
butter he wants, so he's adding some non-kosher milk, right? And then, but you don't know this. You can't tell the difference, and you just think, oh, maybe this liquid is from the kosher milk, so it's fine, and you won't know that it's not kosher.
Correct.
Okay, so the water you're referring to in the cheese is actually whey. It's WHAEY. Whey.
Whey. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So maybe the whey is from a non-kosher. So it's clear about the cheese. Okay. Now I want to go to the butter. So if this is the problem, so now I talked about the Gemara, like roughly 500 years ago. So 1500 years ago. So now 1,000 years ago, roughly, the rabbis got a question, what will be the case about butter? Because if all the problem is maybe they mix non-kosher milk with the kosher milk and they make cheese, and the solid, is from the kosher, and what we see the way, maybe it's from the non-kosher, this is just referred to cheese. But if I make butter from it, a butter is just solid, so maybe a butter should be okay. So some rabbis in that time, 1,000 years ago, said, okay, butter, it's not a problem, because butter is just the solid part, and if it's just the solid part, so it's 100% from a kosher milk, because you cannot make butter from non-kosher milk back in the time. Okay? Again, nowadays things change, and even not just nowadays. It's even like 300 years ago, they got an ideas how to make butter from other things, but 1,000 years ago, they didn't know how to do it from non-kosher animals. So, but other rabbis said that even in butter, you have parts that it's like whey and stuff that it's not solid. So, but it's a little bit, it's less than cheese, but you still have it. So maybe this is from the not kosher, okay? So the Rambam came with the idea, and the Rambam said, okay, what is the problem? We all agree that the solid is okay. We are afraid about the whey, okay? So the Rambam said, you can buy the butter, and you can cook it at your home. And basically, all if there is whey that came from non-kosher milk, it will go away. And if it's not, will go away, and a little bit will stay. It will be mixed, and it will be less than 160 or whatever. Okay, it will be ratio. This is the word. Yeah. Okay, it's clear what the Rambam said. So, Angela, do you want to? I felt that I didn't explain it correctly. Do you understand me correct about that? And I would be happy if you explain what I said for the people. I feel that my English was not.
You want to explain for the butter, like when going home to cook it yourself, like when you buy
Yeah.
the butter. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you said it very plainly. Is anybody
Okay. If
confused,
it's
or
unclear, I
is
just
there
felt
little
that
parts?
I stuck.
Because I thought it was clear.
Okay, good.
Did anybody else? Des and Lorena,
Okay.
you're good?
It's clear. Okay. I felt
okay.
that I don't know
That was very
I got
clear.
stuck.
Yeah, no, you were good for that.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you. I
what you
appreciate it.
said was that the ratio is going to be less than 1/60th. Therefore, it doesn't make a difference, even if there were loose parts in that mixture. That's what it meant.
100%. Yeah. Now we need just to know one idea that it's important for here and for all other what's called Ilchot Ha'arovot, all the kosher and not kosher stuff about when we ratio stuff. We know there is a law that said if it was already b'diavad, it's called, if it's happened that you got mixed non-kosher things in your kosher food and it's ratio in 160, so you're allowed to eat it. Okay, there is, like we talk about it, there is laws about that, but it's okay. Now, if you did it purposely, so it's called asur levatel isur lekatchila. Okay, some even say that it's deoraita. We're not allowed to mix, to ratio non-kosher thing with the kosher thing, ideally, purposely. And if a person did it, he's not allowed to eat the food. The food is not kosher. Okay, it's just for mistakes. Okay, this is I think famous law called asur levatel isur lekatchila, meaning you're not allowed to take a little bit of pig and to put it in your cholent and to say it's less than 160. Now it's mixed. I can recognize. That's it. Okay. Or I just want to get the taste of the pig, so I will put a little bit. It will be less than 160. I will eat it. Why? Because there is a law that said we're not allowed to levatel isur lekatchila, to ratio ideally, just if it's happened. But if a little bit of pig fell and it's less than 160 and so on, and it was by a mistake, yes, you're allowed to eat it. Okay, so now many rabbis ask a question. So I don't understand what the Rambam said. The Rambam said, even if you have a problem, you will cook it and it will be less, and after that it will be less 160. So I didn't understand. You got a butter. You said the butter right now I'm not allowed to eat it. Cook it, and it will be less than 160, and you will be allowed to eat it. But we have a law that says that you're not allowed to ratio, to mix, and to make it less than 160 to be able to eat it. Okay? You understand the question? יעקב, זה ברור, אני מה זה שמח שאתה פה, אתה לא מבין? פתאום שמעתי את הקול שלך.
כן, זה ברור לחלוטין. תמשיך, אתה לא צריך להתעכב על זה.
אין עליך, יופי. אבל הייתי צריך להתעכב להגיד לך ששמחתי לשמוע אותך.
אני גם שמח לראות אותך סוף סוף.
יופי. So, the answer is like that. And this answer is important also to insect laws that we learned and everything. When you are not sure that there is a forbidden thing in the mixture and you mix it, there is no problem. Second of all, if you do action and in your mind is not just to mix it, to ratio it, but you want to do other thing, and by the way, it's also ratio is also okay. Example that's much easier. If you have strawberries, maybe the strawberries have insect, and you make a shake from it. So we're allowed to make. So some rabbis will tell you you're not allowed to eat strawberries like that, but you're allowed to eat it in a shake or in a smoothie. I think you heard those kind of things. What the difference is, because after it's grounded and it's mixed and the insect is broken and so on, so it's ratioed in 160. Okay. Normally, we're not allowed to do it purposely, but here, first of all, I will explain about the shake. It's not considered purposely because you want to eat shake. Okay, you want to eat smoothie. Okay, now you ask if I'm allowed to use strawberries for smoothie. Yes, maybe the strawberries have also insect. Maybe I wanted to make smoothie. I'll use strawberries. I'm not sure 100% those strawberries also have insect. Okay, this is why I am allowed to do it. The same here with the milk. I am not sure the goy brought me milk, brought me butter that was made from milk that was mixture with non-kosher milk. I'm just has maybe the concern. So when I cook it, I just cook it to make sure that even if there is not kosher, it will go away. And if it's not will go away, and a little bit will stay, it will be mixture and it will be ratio. Okay, so it's not that I know that there is not kosher milk inside, and I know that I want to ratio it. No, I'm not sure there is, and also I maybe it will go away, and also maybe I prefer my butter more solid like we use today. Okay, this is why the poskim said, the Rambam said, you allowed to do it. It's not a case that you know. It's just you make sure that all the concerns are away. We do not have any concern. So according to that, we allowed like to use butter. So now I will go to the Shulchan Aruch. Now, Baruch, you have in front of yourself the Shulchan Aruch Gimel, so I'll be happy if you read it in English. Thank you very much.
Shulchan Aruch says, butter of non-Jews, one does not protest about it if the local people permit it. And if the majority of a place treat it as forbidden, this cannot be changed.
Yeah.
The first one.
So, first of all, yeah, thank you very much. So the Shulchan Aruch said, the Shulchan Aruch didn't brought like a clear bottom line about this. He said like that, look, there is custom that said you allowed to eat it, don't tell them anything, leave them alone. And if the majority don't eat it, the custom is not to eat it, so don't eat it, don't change it. Some even explain more than that, that maybe places that they eat it, it's because the rabbis there check and they realize that you really do not have a concern in that place. And maybe places that says the problem, maybe they knew that in their place there is problem with the butter. Now, and if you are in a place and there is no clear custom about butter, so what the Shulchan Aruch said, go ahead.
Continues. And in a place that there is no particular custom, if the butter is cooked until the milk solids come out, this is permitted.
Good. The milk solid is mean like the way of the milk. It's the same.
The way
Uh,
liquid. Solids is not the way.
is not the
No,
way.
so I did I didn't understand that. I don't think the translation are correct exactly.
I think
Hebrew,
what it
what it
means
means?
is if you cook it until there's a separation between the fats and the liquids.
100%. Okay, if this
Then,
is the
yeah.
if this is the explanation. Yes, in Hebrew is אם בישלה עד שהלכו צחצוחי החלב, השאריות של החלב, בעצם של הנוזל. So if it was separate, if you did it in a place that there is no custom, like basically if you did it and it's just solid, it's okay. Now, the Rama said, go ahead. Please.
There you go. The Rama says, Also, it is permitted to cook it in this fashion initially in order to get the milk fat. And if a non-Jew cooked it, it is permitted because most vessels have not been used in the past 24 hours. Should I go on?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, just a second. No, just a second. So the Rama here said two things. One thing, we talked about it before, that you're allowed to do it even ideally. Ideally, you're allowed to cook the butter till you will get just the solid and you can use it. Second of all, even if you bought the butter from the non-Jews and they cooked it in their own vessels, and you got the butter, just butter without of the whey, so you're allowed to use it. But they cook it with their own vessels, and their own vessels are not kosher. So how come it can be kosher? Because we have other law that said that we talked about it also, that most of vessel of normal people, they didn't use it in the last 24 hours. Okay, if you just took one vessel from a person, people not using every day all their vessels, correct? So if you didn't use the vessel more than 24 hours, Chazal said that even the taste, even let's say they cook not kosher things yesterday and 24 hours passed, the taste that was swallowed, that was go inside the vessel, got a bad taste because a lot of time passed. And we have a law that said that a non-kosher thing that brought you not good taste, it's rashiyot. Okay, we talked about that in more way, shiur. So the Rama said, okay, they cook it in their own vessels. Most percentages that they didn't use the same day non-kosher things, they didn't cook the same day. Why I explain that? Because many poskim said that if you go to a factory or to a restaurant, you cannot use this leniency, because this leniency talk about normal people, not about a restaurant. Like some of the poskim said, in a restaurant, you see that they use like 100 times their vessel. They use all the time. They just use their vessel. So you can't come and to say, okay, now they cook something that it's kosher, and you know that 99% 2 minutes ago they cook something not kosher with the same vessel, and another 5 minutes ago, and another 10 minutes ago, and another hour ago. Okay, so this is not apply in, according to some poskim, in restaurants and factories. Okay, but if it's not restaurant or factory, just a person just cooked, so most percentages he didn't use it in the last 24 hours. הלאה. ואם הלך ממקום.
And if one goes from a place where I'm guessing butter, is not eaten to a place where they do eat it, he should eat it with them. But it is forbidden to bring it with him and eat it in a place where they are accustomed to forbidding it.
Okay, and yeah, just a second, because like we said, places that they say it's a problem, maybe they know that there is problem. And go on.
If the butter is not recognizable as being from such a place, then it is permitted. And one who goes from a place where it is forbidden to a place where it is permitted, it is forbidden to eat it there. So making a distinction between where the origin is, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Shall I continue?
I think that's it, because I will jump to other things. What?
Sure.
Rabbi,
But you can what?
Excuse me, Rabbi, just some clarity about the
Yeah,
difference
go ahead.
between making butter. As a result of it, the water is called their buttermilk, but when you're making cheese, the water there is called whey. So those two distinctions, Rabbi. Thanks.
Thank
Got
you
it?
very much.
So
Okay.
buttermilk and whey, two different things. One is from the cheese whey, and the other one, buttermilk, is making the butter.
Thank you. Now we'll go a little bit to our days. So if we're talking about places that they make it in the traditional way, so we understood the halacha. The Shulchan Aruch said that basically Mikar Adin, like it should be okay if it's just a solid, unless the custom is not to eat it. But now we need a little bit to know how they make butter. I will say the truth. I never was in a butter factory. It's that even though I have been so many factories in my life of food and cheese, but I never have been in a butter factory. I do have friends that work in Europe in butter and mozzarella and some cheese stuff, but I never went. Mozzarella, how do you say he make mozzarella? I don't know. Mozzarella, it's mozzarella. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mozzarella.
So mozzarella, thank you. So nowadays, what he told me is that there is two ways how to make butter, and he said that the places he know, most of the time they don't make butter from milk. What they do, they make butter from the whey cheese, from the cheese whey or whey cheese, whatever, I don't. Cheese whey. Thank you very much. So they make butter from the cheese whey, meaning you're not saying I have this amount of milk, okay, I will go to make butter. No, you even when you want to order, he told me that normally you can't come and just order just butter, because if you want to do a production of just butter, the butter will be very, very expensive. So you make an order of mozzarella cheese or something like that, and you have the whey cheese, and now they take this whey cheese, the cheese whey, and they make from that butter. Okay? Somebody here can tell me why you think that it make it more problematic halachically? What's the difference if I make butter from milk or rather I make it from cheese whey?
Because cheese whey could be from milk from non-kosher animals.
Correct. And more than that,
Rabbi, isn't
we
it
said,
you said this was only a concern?
just a second, but this is what I wanted to add it. We said
Okay.
last year that milk is a concern, but cheese is a fence. Chazal said clearly that we're not allowed to eat cheese from goyim as a fence. This is how the Rambam understood, and so on. And we talk about that.
Okay.
So when we go to cheese, even if we do not have any concern, we're not allowed to eat cheese from goyim. Okay, we talked about last year, and when you make cheese, this is not kosher, not just because concerns and not concerns and problems. It will be a derabanan problem because Chazal said and that's it. Okay, and maybe they have different reasons and I don't know. And when you make cheese and you get from that the cheese whey, so maybe you have a concern. But even if you do not have a concern and you're sure 100%, doesn't matter how that it comes from kosher milk, it still will be problematic. But I need to say that even for that, there were some rabbis that said that it's okay. They understood that butter is okay. Doesn't matter how, because if at the end they make butter from it, so if they knew they go to use the cheese whey for butter, so for sure they will not use non-kosher milk, because if they will use not kosher milk, they will lose like what they need. There is other ideas, but there is even rabbis for that. Pri Chadash, for example, he even lenient about that, even about butter that was made from
Milk.
יעקב,
Yeah.
רק תשים, אם אתה יכול בבקשה, כאילו, מיוט. So, this is about butter today. There is another small problem that I think if I remember correctly, in salted butter, they don't added anything. And I asked a person that he is working in this kind of productions in the US. he told me that in the US, you can added, like, not you can, they are adding a flavor to the sweet butter, and even if it's 100%, it's you allowed. This is how he told me 100%. He worked in the US. He said he don't know how it's in the other place in the world, and he said that this ingredient should have kashrut. I don't know how much it's like how much is asur, how much is problematic, like how much if you use the butter it will be like the end of the world. But he said that he think that it should have ideally kashrut. But in North America, you, if I understood correctly, you have like butter that it's not Chalav Israel, but it has a kashrut, right? This is how it's work. I'm correct? So it's basically not Chalav Israel, but they just made sure that you do not have the problem of if they added flavors in something. And just I want to know, there is a difference price between non-kosher butter to a kosher butter of not Chalav Israel? No, right?
Huge difference.
Huge difference. I'm
Huge
talking about
difference. Yeah.
like not kosher
Chalav
butter and a
Israel,
kosher.
yeah. Chalav Israel, yeah. There's most of the milk here is kosher. It has OU, it has COR, it has BCK, but it's not Chalav Israel. Chalav Israel very
So
expensive.
yeah,
And
but my
the
question
only
is,
people that use Chalav Israel here
That's a
that
different
I
question.
know is
how
Chabad.
bad? My question is not about the Chalav Israel. My question, if you buy butter that has OU and it's not Chalav Israel, and if you buy butter that do not have OU, just normal butter without of any certification, if there is a difference prices.
The
I
Chalav,
don't think so. I think it's the same.
no, it's
The
not
same.
true. The Chalav, no,
Because
no,
Not
because
Chalav
Chalav
Israel.
the Chalav Israel comes from Israel.
Yaakov, I'm not talking about Chalav Israel.
Okay.
I'm asking not Chalav Israel with kosher, like OU, and just a normal butter. So you say you don't think there is,
No,
Yeah,
that's the same. That makes no difference.
that's the same.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the butter that I get is kosher, and it's the cheapest butter, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not good for you.
Okay, perfect. Because this is what the only thing I want to understand. So in North, so you don't need to go to the problem of if butter without of Echsher, it's okay. It's because if you get it with OU, even if it's not Chalav Israel, they just make sure that you do not have the following problems I told you as additional flavors and so on. So they make sure about that. And if they don't, if they just take a little bit, they can take, just if you want to know the prices, they can take from a factory $10,000 per year for all the production, for the certification. And this is nothing when you go to the end of, you know what I mean, to the butter itself. When you go to one butter and you talk about a factory, you know what I mean. So if this is the thing, we are good. Yeah,
Rabbi,
question.
Israel, that milk, which is sold in the superstore in one of the superstores, actually it says there it comes from Montreal.
Okay, good. They don't need to bring it straight. They can bring whenever they want. You just need a person to watch when they milk it. You can do it in every country.
Okay.
Even in Israel nowadays, some of the halav even comes from Poland. Even the milk, I don't know, but it's a new thing. So איך אומרים, שר האוצר, I don't know, whatever you call it, Bezalel Smotrich, he allowed to bring
The
from
treasure
Chutz La'aretz,
minister.
the treasury minister, the treasure. Wow. Oh, what's up? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Somebody has another question about this subject? Want to clarify and anything? Okay, good. So basically we're finished. Now, next week, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will learn, I think it's also interesting, it's about everything that considered not kosher, not because there is any not kosher inside, but because danger, and we will explain the difference between things that they are physical danger and things that they are mystical dangers, and the difference between them when it goes to doubts and so on. For example, we have if you cut onion and you leave it all night, if you put food under bed, if you bring food inside the bathroom, or if you want to eat fish with meat, or even cheese with fish. And we will not finish all the subjects, because first of all, I will explain from the beginning how those kind of things working. We will understand that, and after that we will go to details. Will be next week, Bezrat Hashem. I was very happy to see you, and my pleasure. See
Thank
you
you,
next
Rabbi.
week, Bezrat Hashem.
Thank you, Rabbi.